The following is a presentation of 4-Star Sports Media.
One thing you don't do. My guys, the Grizzlies and Tigers, baby, we animals and we don't lose. We give you the blues when you come to us. Be ready for war, we lacing up. You better bring a whole army with you, cause the Memphis here, we don't play a bluff. This is the do, we come to lose, we here to win. Pay your dues.
Welcome to the Germantown Village Wine and Liquor Studio. Germantown Village Wine and Liquor. They have single barrel whiskeys you can only find in their store. Go by and see Stephen Plunk and tell him 4-Star sent you. Now, it's time to get to the point with your hosts, Wes Pruitt and Brandon Bumgarner.
Hello, Memphis fans, and welcome to The Point. We got Brandon Bumgarner and Will Bass in the house with us tonight. Germantown Village Wine and Liquor Studios. Quick shout out, Germantown Village Wine and Liquor, 7730 Poplar Avenue, beautiful Germantown, Tennessee, is where they can be found. Stephen Plunk is the man to go see. They've got some single barrel whiskeys you can only get in their location in Memphis. Go by and check them out. Give them a buzz, 901-737-3174. Tell them The Point and 4-Star sent you by. May give you a little discount. Who knows? Guys, it was a eventful week for a Memphis fan. It was a stressful week for a Memphis fan. I know both of you guys were stressed Saturday. You were stressed. I know during a basketball game this week. I know Brandon's currently watching the Lady Tigers, and I'm sure he's stressed watching that. We'll get into them here in just a little bit. But Will, Brandon, I will start the show off tonight with this question. How does it feel to be in an 8th straight bowl game and be in a bowl game 13 out of the last 18 seasons for the University of Memphis Tigers?
It's pretty solid, man. I mean, I don't know that anything I've seen in my life. You know.
I mean, that the 8th straight is impressive, but really, when you think about it, the 13 of last 18, that really hits home to me as something that you can hang your hat on and something that you can be damn proud of.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Brandon, I come to you, man. How does it feel?
Slap me silly and call me Jimmy, because the Tigers are going bowling for an 8th straight year. You told me that was happening 10 years ago, I'd have laughed in your face.
Oh, we
probably would have punched you in the face also. Don't give me that hope. But here we are. We don't know our opponent yet. I'm sure we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But, yeah, just happy to be there, man.
Yeah, well, let's get into the
Tiger. It's in Hawaii and I can't go.
It is. It's in Hawaii.
I would love to make that trip.
Man, hell yeah, that would be great. That would just be an awesome atmosphere to watch a game in, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general. Let's get into the game. Saturday evening, 6:30 kickoff, Memphis and Tulane. Memphis, for Memphis, it was all on the line this week. As we talked about in the opener, Memphis is heading to Hawaii to take on, we don't know yet. But, guys, let's talk about this Memphis-Tulane matchup. I posted an article on 4star.live 5 keys to victory for Memphis before the game. They checked 4.5 out of 5 for those. For me, I would say. Will, I'll start with you first, man. What did you think about the Tigers' performance Saturday against Tulane?
I think they did pretty well. Obviously the rushing attack still really isn't there, but Seth had a great game, 27 of 42 for 336, 3 TDs. That's a pretty solid game from him. They're still not doing much on the ground, which I think we've all come to expect them not to do much on the ground. So as long as they're just airing the ball out, spreading it around, letting the receivers, do their job. That's what they got to do. But they eked it out, and they needed to for sure, especially to get to where they are.
Let me ask you this, Will. One thing that has been a strong suit for this Memphis football program during this streak, but something that's been a bit of a Achilles heel, I guess would be a term you would use, and that would be our kicking game. Hell, our kicker got American Athletic Conference Special Teams Player of the Week after that Tulane game. That was cool to see, honestly, because we've struggled in there at that position the entire season. He almost was. There was times we had field goals that came off like helicopters at times.
Okay, absolutely.
So that's great for that kid's confidence going into this bowl game against whoever we're going to play. Big Bad Bumgarner is back with us. Oh, speaking of Big Bad Bumgarner, Will, I don't know if you know this, but Thursday morning, 9 a.m. on Sidelines.live, Big Bad Bumgarner will be on there talking with Rob Brown and company about this Memphis Tigers football team.
I did not know that.
I'll be there.
He'll be there.
Cool.
We've 4-Star Sports Media has been a guest on there. Man, I guess probably up until recently. We were on there every week for a couple months. Probably it was a nice little running gig there for Bum and myself. We need to get you on there too, Willie B. Bum, how's it feel, man?
Hey.
Eight straight, 13 out of the last 18, and a win over Tulane. Let's talk about that Tulane win. You were there. You were in the house.
I was there.
You were. Talk a little bit about it, man. What was the atmosphere like for those seniors for the last game at Liberty Bowl?
I want to say I'm upset, but I'm not upset. The fans actually had a pretty good turnout for that game. The seniors that were there absolutely deserved it. They deserved that win, and I'm very happy with the result. Part of me, I just sat there in the freezing cold, and part of me just questioned why I was there. And it's because I love this team, I love this city, I love this school, and I love the guys that are on that field. And that's why we were there on Saturday night. We were there for the guys that were on that field. Any real fan knows why we were there. Unfortunately, Will and Wes aren't real fans.
Don't start.
So they were not there in attendance.
Look, man.
But
I will hit this button right here to remove you off this stream.
But us real fans were there. I got there at 11 a.m. I tailgated all day, all the way through kickoff, all the way through the last whistle. Zeros on the board. It was a lot of fun to be there too, because I've been there for every bowl clinching game except for the ones that have been on the road. During this 8-year stretch. Hell, I've probably been there for every bowl clinching game my entire life, unless they were on the road, of course, like I said. But
yeah.
It's nice to have this streak. The last few years we've gotten a little lucky, not lucky, but we've been a little how do I say it?
Fortunate,
overachieving.
Yeah, well, not overachieving, but
fortunate, like Will said. Yeah,
you get to 6 wins and you're like, okay, how many more are we going to get?
Yeah.
You don't have to wait until the 12th win of the year, which is very 12th game of the year. Excuse me. I wish we had 12 wins of the year. We'd be in that Cincinnati conversation right now. Yeah. But no, I'm really excited to have this team sitting where they are. Ryan Silverfield said in his post-game press conference that they played over 28 freshmen in the last 2 games. Those guys are getting experience. Also, they get a bowl game to finish the year as a reward. And they can make this a winning or a losing season. You go out there and win the bowl game, you're 7-6. You continue the winning tradition at the University of Memphis over the last 8 years. That means you have 8 straight seasons of winning football, which is just, it's nice to see. And that's kind of where I'm at, man. Really happy with the result. Really happy with how this team performed. Seth Hennigan's a baller. And there's this little guy on our team named Sean Dykes that they finally learned how to use on offense.
Exactly.
And it was nice to see.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, like I said at the beginning of the show, 13 out of the last 18 seasons, the University of Memphis has been involved in a bowl game. As a Memphis fan, it's damn near 20 years, guys. That's impressive. I mean, that is definitely impressive.
Hey, Zach wants to pop in and ask us a question real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Hey, guys, what's going on? Hey, I wanted to ask you guys from a Memphis Tiger perspective. Wes, you had mentioned that Memphis is 13 out of the last 18 years. What is kind of the benchmark for Memphis as far as wins, the number of wins per season? I mean, as a fan base, what would y'all say would be the absolute bare minimum of wins that y'all can get? I mean, I know here in Arkansas, you're looking at anywhere between 6 and 8. Sometimes you get the 9 and 3. And a few years ago, we had 11 and 1. So I just wanted to kind of gauge what y'all thought with y'all being in the American Conference and being Memphis Tiger fans.
Are you asking like as far as what a fan base, like expectations, like from a fan base?
Yes.
I mean, I think like, you know, we're right on the precipice of what a fan base expects, at least for this year. I think if you know, had you not made a bowl, I think it would have been disappointing to the majority of Memphis fans. Just, you know, based on obviously the history.
Can I be like brutally honest?
Yeah. Obviously.
If we didn't make a bowl, Ryan Silverfield might not have a job.
Our
fan base, that game, and Silverfield even admitted to it in his post-game press conference. He said, this win, he said, I knew everything was on the line, and they went out there and they got it done. And you know, that press conference, sorry, I'm going to get to your question. I'm sorry, Zach. But that press conference really made me more of a fan than of Coach Silverfield. It shows me how much he cares. He got emotional talking about how much these guys fought all season from adversity. And he took all the losses on him. He didn't put them on anybody else. And I really like that. And I think he's starting to get reins on this locker room a little bit, which is a good thing. But no, so to answer Zach's question, in my personal opinion, I'm going to say the exact same thing Ryan Silverfield says. He said there is no reason for them not to compete for conference championships every single year. And there's absolutely no excuse to not make a bowl game. In my mind, 8 wins is the bare minimum. That's what Memphis should focus on. We did it 7 of the last 8 years, winning 8 games. I mean, that we have one of the higher winning percentages in all of college football over that time. So this year, weird year. You could have won 4 of the games that you played in, and you blew 2 of them. You had big leads. The other 2, you lost 1 possession games. You had an opportunity to go into Houston and upset them late. That kind of fell apart. But you know what? 8 wins and compete for a conference championship every single year is what the bare minimum should be for the University of Memphis, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest and call a spade a spade. Memphis fans are happy that they're in a bowl. They're not happy with a 6-6 season. I mean, and that's really how I feel. Am I happy we're in a bowl? Yes. Am I extremely happy that these young men get to finish their college career in a bowl game? Yes. Am I excited about going to I mean, but that's the thing. I'm really not all that. I mean, you know, I mean,
the game that it might be.
There's going to be 1,000 people there. I mean,
the fan. Well, you're going to get some. I don't mean,
you get some locals.
you get naval support from transplants and whatnot. So I mean, we'll see, but that'd still be a cool experience for the team. It'll be a cool experience for those kids.
Yeah, I mean, I
The
would
current
say
bowl projection has us playing Air Force or Nevada.
okay.
Air Force and Nevada.
I would say, as far as your question, Zach, what should the benchmark be? I think if you pull, I mean, me personally, I'm right there with Brandon, 7 to 8 wins a year. I don't see any reason why we can't win 8 every year. And I mean, that's something that 10 years ago, you were happy to win 5. You were ecstatic to win 5 10 years ago. And then, I mean,
That first year Justin Fuente went here and we won 4 games, and he doubled Larry Porter's win total.
Dude, that's the family.
I was more excited than I've ever been excited for Tiger football at that time. At that time.
Yeah. At that time,
The next year they go and win 3 games, and that really pisses you off. But the following year you win 10. Yeah, and then you win 8, and then you win 9, and then you win 8 again.
Then you get on the run. I mean, it's when you. I think if you polled Memphis fans, they would tell you probably the same thing. 7 to 8 wins a year every year should be the benchmark. I don't think there's any reason that Memphis shouldn't make a bowl game every single year. And I'm not saying, no offense, but I'm not saying a Hawaii Bowl. I'm saying, like, there's no reason we shouldn't play in a decent, good bowl. I mean, like any bowl is a good bowl. I get that. But
the minimum bowl game, like, in my eyes, would be a Birmingham Liberty Bowl type situation. It shouldn't be going to Hawaii, or I hate to say it, I know it's your neck of the woods, but the Independence Bowl.
Shreveport,
these Independence Bowl at one time was an elite bowl game, but
now
it's not. It's a 6-6 versus a 6-6 game,
Yeah, it's
You want to play in bowl games that have elite competition against Power 5 opponents, so you can make a name for yourself.
Yeah, you want to see where you stack up. Yeah.
Do what?
I said you want to see where you stack up at the to end the year. You want to see what you're really made of.
Well, and Silverfield said at the same thing. He said championships are what matters with this program. A bowl championship is a championship. So if you go out there on December 24th at 7 p.m. our time, and you get a win, it's a win. You win the Hawaii Bowl championship.
Yeah.
You come back home. I guess you're celebrating Christmas a day late with your family, but you get to go to the Hawaii Bowl. You get to spend Christmas in Hawaii. Not many people get to say that, and I know a lot of people are. I've talked to a couple players; they aren't big fans of this whole. It's not bad.
I mean, it's a way. It's an extra month of practice that you wouldn't get if you wasn't in a bowl. It's more exposure for your program on a national level.
It's an extra game.
Yeah, it's an extra game. It's, Brandon said earlier, it's an extra game. It's extra reps, extra practices, extra film study.
Yeah.
It's just an extra way to make yourself that much better of a football player, and as a coach for that matter. I mean, when you look at it from the coach's perspective, this is their way of, this is what you want every year. You want
the other beautiful thing about bowl season, especially right now, because you don't have an opponent, so you're not really practicing for it. Coaches get to go on the road and recruit.
Yeah.
So not many people realize this, but when Mike Norvell left and went to Florida State, Ryan Silverfield took over as the interim coach. It was an audition, basically. But he didn't know he was getting the job, and he was still going and doing in-home visits with different recruits. He got some guys to commit to Memphis, even though they didn't know he was going to be the head coach here until it was announced.
Right.
And he's preparing for the Cotton Bowl, like the biggest game in program history up to that point.
Yeah.
And he's still going out there doing a hell of a job recruiting on the road. Bowl season allows you to do 2 things. It allows your team to get better. Actually, 3.
Rest.
It allows your team to get better, allows your team to get rest, and it allows the coaches to get on the road and recruit, which is a beautiful thing about this time of the year.
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. I mean, and here's the thing. And first off, we want to thank everybody. Also, we want to thank everybody watching on Facebook, 4-Star Sports Media, YouTube, 4-Star Sports Media. Also on the website, 4star.live. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see us down there at the very bottom. You can click it and make it big and watch us live off our website as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for this football team, no matter who they play. I don't care who they play. I'm just going to be excited that we're in a bowl. I'm going to be excited to see what this extra time of preparation has been able to do with our team chemistry, defensively, offensively, special teams for sure. I really hope that kicker is putting up about 60 a day, just to get the mind body repetition going. But I'm very, very excited about this football team. Very excited about the Hawaii Bowl. I'm happy. I'm just happy for everybody involved. The administration, the coaches, their families, the players, their families, and then us as the fans. It just really excites me.
Well,
really,
I don't
really
know.
does.
You talked about kicker. I don't know if a lot of people realize David Kemp was one of the highest ranked kickers out of high school.
He was a
5-star
top
kicker.
I was gonna say he's a 5-star kicker. Yeah.
And now kickers are based on a different, like recruiting grade than other players. But well, we got to change that logo, by the way.
Man, you ain't
Tiger talk.
shitting. You ain't shitting. Go ahead.
But I'm just messing with you. No,
I'm not.
I'm really excited for David Kemp. He was a 5-star kicker coming out of high school. He broke his foot in fall practice, and he didn't get to kick until the Tulsa game. You just threw the kid out there. Didn't have any kicking experience in any games or anything like that. Didn't get to tune up or anything like that. And I'm willing to give this kid a chance. Like, so Riley Patterson got in here his freshman year. He didn't struggle a whole lot, but he did struggle. And now look at him. He's kicking for the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day in his first ever NFL game. Shout out to Riley Patterson and the Patterson family. They're great people, by the way. He deserves that opportunity. I'm not going to keep harping on it. We'll talk more about our Tigers in the NFL at some point this year.
Man, everything I've heard about him is just that he is just a great guy.
He's a stand-up person. He is an all-around good person. His family is the exact same way. I know them very well. Yeah, I'd love to get Riley on the podcast sometime after NFL season. Y'all stay tuned to that. I stay in contact with him. But no, Riley even told me that David Kemp is the type of kid that you're going to want in your program. He has his head on his shoulders. He doesn't get too heated. He knows how to kick a football pretty damn good. Yeah. And he was coming off an injury, man. He drilled that 40-yarder with ease the other night, and it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, won Special Teams Player of the Week for the AAC. Very proud of him, the way he's responded. And you have to be proud of the way a lot of these guys responded, the defense included. The defense started the year letting up a 50-point game to freaking Arkansas State, who ended the season, I believe, with 1 win.
That was a sweater, too.
And then Mississippi State went all over us, UTSA, and all those teams that we played following that. But then you get to that Navy game, and they just hit a switch. And I don't want to keep talking. I want Will to be able to talk a little bit. But, Will, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think the defense did to be able to kind of hit that switch and make the adjustments that were necessary to start, like, not just winning games, but competing in football games this season?
Man, I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask that question.
We'll say, call up Coach Mack, bum.
Ask him. What do you think they might have done?
I mean, here's the thing. It was very similar to last year when you really go back and look at it. Look at that SMU game last year. Yes, there was a month off. But, I mean, Arkansas State put points on us last year. SMU put points on us last year. Then you get to that Navy game, and I don't know if it was just the transitioning and train in the mind and the way you think about defense, as far as you've got to be more sound tackling. You got to wrap up. You got to get low, all that against Navy. And then it just transitions to the rest of the year. Brendan, I really don't know, but hell, I love it. I can tell you that. I mean, that Memphis defense is flying around the field, man. Saturday night, I wasn't there. I am a real fan, even though I wasn't there.
I'm just messing.
I know. But
Can I kind of answer my
they're
own question?
fun to watch, man. They're just having fun. And that hit that was it JJ Russell put on that guy?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I hurt watching him hit him. I mean, JJ, he came through untouched. Nobody sniffed that guy, and he knocked the guy's dick in the dirt. It was beautiful to see. It really, really was. Go ahead, Brian.
I talked to Zay Collins after the game, and he has played every game this year except for this last game with a cast on his hand.
Yeah.
He got an interception the first game. He didn't have a cast on his hand. And I talked to him after the game, and I was like, man, Zay, what did it feel like? He goes, the first time I had two hands, baby. And you watch these guys come out of the tunnel and you see their body language after a win or a loss, even the coaches. Yeah. Mike McIntyre came out of that tunnel with pride on his face, showing through his face that his defense, and this is my answer to what I think he did. I think he didn't give up on that defense, and I think that defense did not give up on him.
It's a great point.
And I these guys bought into what he was trying to teach. They love Coach Mack. We've had him on the show. We can tell that he loves his guys.
Oh yeah. And more than just football.
I am absolutely on and off the field, and I am more than willing to have him back next year if he is willing to come back next year. Selfishly, I don't want him to get another head coaching job. Yeah. But the guy's going to be a head coach again somewhere. I mean, he's former coach of the year in all of D1 college football.
Yeah.
But these guys bought into what he was selling. He bought into what these guys were selling. So I'm very excited to have him around this program. I think he's a good morale guy. And sorry, I don't mean to take over this podcast at all. I wanted to give a little beautiful rant for Coach Mack.
You're good, man. You're good. And I completely agree, because at the beginning of the year, I mean, even us guys on this show, we were hard on Coach Mack. We were hard on the defense. I mean, we have expectations that have to be met too, dadgummit.
Yeah.
Here on the point. But we're going to transition to men's basketball next, guys. I know Bum's got some stuff to say, so I'm going to let you go first, Will. We know how Brandon is.
Me being the real fan of the group, it's hard for me to hold back.
Yeah.
I leave y'all speechless sometimes.
Yeah, that's what it is. So guys, we had the NIT tip-off last week up in New York. A lot of limelight for the basketball team. Had a nice win, 69-61 over Virginia Tech on Wednesday. And then on Friday, Memphis basketball suffered its first loss, dropped 10 freaking spots in the poll. I don't get that. Well, I do get it. But 78-59 to Iowa State. Will, what the hell happened Friday?
Man, I wish I could tell you on that one too. I mean, it was frustrating to watch. I'm sitting here, recovering from Thanksgiving, whatnot, thinking that after how we played against Virginia Tech, despite the turnovers, we might be able to go out there and still compete against Iowa State. The only reason they seemed to beat Xavier was, one of their guys got hot and kind of just got out to a big lead, and they were able to keep that. Their defense was solid. I mean, I think you look at stats, I think they, their team and our team both rank pretty high in defensive efficiency. But you also look at right now what the Tigers are doing on offense. They're turning the ball over almost a third of the time they come down the field. It's not quite a third, but it's a little bit more than a quarter of the time they come down the court. And you look at that and you can't do that in basketball and expect to really do a whole lot to lead a game or to be able to hold a lead when you're turning the ball over and the other teams you're playing are just as good, maybe better than you, at least at this point in the season. They're going to turn those turnovers into points. And if you go down and you continue just to turn the ball over because you pass, you make ill-advised passes, whatever the case may be, I mean, it was really, really difficult to watch. It's not even just being a fan. I mean, even being a basketball fan, you watch that game, regardless of whether or not you're a Memphis Tigers fan. You watch that game, it was painful to watch. When almost every single offensive possession, they come down the court. And once they cross half court, regardless of who had the ball, they were still turning the ball over. So they've got to find some leadership on offense, at least coming down the court. Whether it be establishing a point guard, or just establishing somebody that's going to handle the ball coming down the court. One or two people, whether it's, Timberlake. I really don't think Alo needs to be the one bringing it down, because he's not contributing anywhere outside of basically turning the ball over. As much as I hate to rain on the dude. I mean, he's been here and he's been here a while, but you got to look at stats at that point. It's not about feelings; it's about production. And I mean, whether it's putting Lester on the point and having him bring it down. I mean, I don't really care who it is at this point of the season. You just got to figure it out now before you start getting into the meat of the schedule, which you kind of already are. Yeah. And you really don't have it figured out. So you got to come off this loss, hopefully having a little bit of extra time before this game tomorrow. And hopefully, some of the changes they talked about today in the press conference, as far as what he's planning on doing, as far as this positionless basketball, or just letting whoever bring it down and just try to create, it just doesn't seem to be working. And I mean, that's obvious in that Iowa State game. They just picked us apart, and like I said, it was painful to watch. I had to turn it off a couple times. I felt myself really, really trying hard to want to flip back, but it was painful, man.
I mean, anytime a team, doesn't matter if it's your team or not, anytime a team shoots 35% from the field,
in the words of
35% from three.
Yeah.
In the words of Tommy West, it's painful. It's just painful.
It is, man. But here is two stats that just scream out at me every time I look at the stats. And it's been the same two stats all year. Turnovers. Total turnovers, 22. Fouls, 27. I don't know if it's youth. I don't know if it's what it is, but Jaylen Duren gets 4 fouls before he puts his damn shoes on to go on the court, it feels like. Yeah. I mean, I remember back in the day we used to joke that Joey Dorsey got a foul during the national anthem. I feel the same way with Jaylen Duren. And I'm not bashing the young man. He's an incredible talent. I don't want anybody to take this as a negative against him personally. He's just young and he'll get it figured out. I know that. But it's frustrating, man.
Well, same here. I mean, you don't want to be, overcritical or seem like you're trying to dog anybody at all. I mean, we're fans. This is a Memphis show. But at the same time, you got to call it like it is. You got to call it like you see it. And you're seeing it on any kind of, whether it be a message board or a fan page. And granted, there's both sides. But at the same time, like I said, man, you can say that a Memphis fan is complaining about something all you want, but at the same time, you gotta see it for what it is. There's no team in the country that turns the ball over like we do that's going to make it anywhere near the tournament, past maybe the first or second round, if they sniff the tournament at all. Yeah. And you look at other teams that will make it, and they're not averaging almost 21 turnovers a game. They're averaging 14, 11, like 15 at the most. Uh-huh. You can't go into December, January, February averaging 20 turnovers a game and expect to make it anywhere near the tournament, because we won't have the record to show for that. And hopefully he'll turn it around and have something different, planned before all that even happens. But that's just worst case scenario, I guess.
Yeah. Bum, what about you, man?
Hi, guys. I have a lot to say and probably a little bit of time to say it. So I'm going to big and short and sweet. Penny Hardaway's changing the offense to back to what it was when we won 17 out of 19 games last year. Those 2 losses to a Houston team that went to the Final Four. One was on a lucky shot. The other one was supposed to be played in Memphis, but they played it in Houston. It was BS by the conference, but I'm not going to talk about that anymore. It's a new year. 6-1. You're ranked 18th in the country. You have all the potential in the world to go on a run right now. You're playing Georgia, Ole Miss, Murray State, Alabama, and Tennessee all in a row. All possible good wins. Not only are those teams good names, 3 of those games are quad 1 opportunities.
Yep.
You win those 3 games, and no, it's not Ole Miss or Georgia that are quad 1 opportunities. Hate to say it, Rebel or Bulldog fans. At least Georgia, you have basketball or football, and same with you, Ole Miss. Penny's going to get this thing corrected. I think he already has. If you listen to him talk today in his press conference, he said they are going back to his old ways. Well, nobody knows what his, quote, old ways are. Everybody's assuming it's his old style offense that he brought back last year with some half-court sets. And as I said, they won 17 out of 19 games last year using that set. A lot of these guys on that team know that set. Penny said himself, Imani Bates has already caught up to that offense as a 17-year-old.
That's good.
And guys, I don't want to knock the kid at all. And I don't know how to say anything without being harsh or blunt. But Alex Lomax cannot play basketball for the University of Memphis. And if he does, it's got to be for 5 or 6 minutes at a time. One time a game. And it should be at the end of the game, or it should be in it shouldn't be in any crucial situation where you need points. It should be in a
once you've secured the lead.
It could be in a position where you're up 7 points with 4 minutes left in the game, and you might need to stop. Because Alo can get a stop for you. He can get a steal, and he can. I mean, we saw it. He against Virginia Tech. He had a decent game against Virginia Tech, and then the one play that's just been stuck in my mind, and we've won 6 games this year, guys. But the one play that's been stuck in my mind for the last week is that dump pass into Duran when there's 4 guys guarding the kid, and Alo's like, "Oh, he's open. I'm going to throw it to him." What the hell were you looking at, Lomax?
Yeah.
Like, and I hate, he's a Memphis kid. I want to be able to support him, and I do support him. And I want him to prove me wrong. And I hope we have people on this comment hearing what I'm about to say. Alex Lomax should not be playing at all. And like I said, it should be 5 to 6 minutes if he does. It should be garbage time minutes. It shouldn't be anything crucial to the game. And I think, and because Penny has been with him so long, I think Penny thinks he owes him just a debt of gratitude, maybe, because Penny's been coaching him since he was in 6th grade. But not every leader on a team has to play serious minutes. They can be a leader in the locker room, and they can tell guys, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what I'm seeing from the bench. This is what you made a mistake on. It can't be – I think Alex Lomax is going to make a hell of a coach one day, not a hell of a college basketball player. It's the same song the 4th year. The exact same song that we're singing the same time this 4th year. And you saw what happened when Alo went down last year with his foot injury. This team turned into a different animal. They turned into a winning machine. They started
almost
winning.
immediately.
I'm not saying that's not just, and I'm not saying all of it falls on Alex Lomax's shoulders.
Yeah.
But I listened to 92.9 today, and it pissed me off because he's not the only guy on this team making mistakes.
Oh, absolutely.
DeAndre Williams, you're wrong, Wes. It's DeAndre Williams who's the one who gets a foul before the national anthem.
Yeah.
It's not Jaylen Duran. DeAndre is the one who's getting a foul, and if he gets one more technical, I'm going to scream. These technicals aren't warranted. Like, he's 25, he's my age, and he's making these mistakes.
Yeah.
And they're in crucial situations. We cut the lead to 8 points on Friday, correct?
Yes.
Well, guess what? And this was in the second half. As soon as we cut the lead to 8, DeAndre got a technical. I almost called him DeAndre Thomas. DeAndre got a technical, and Iowa State just started hitting threes like that.
Yeah.
Snap, 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 snap. You started hitting everything. And I'm not going to blame this on the defense whatsoever. The defense has looked good, regardless of what the offense has done. The fouls have to stop, as you said, Wes. but it's just it's painful. It's too damn painful to watch.
It is,
this
man.
team go through this when we know the type of talent they have.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing the last week, oh, well, maybe our hopes were too high for this Tiger basketball team. Maybe they're just good enough to make an NCAA tournament. Bullshit. This team isn't just good enough to make an NCAA tournament. They're good enough to make a deep NCAA tournament run to at least the second weekend, at most the Final Four, and hell, maybe even a national title run.
I got a text message earlier this week. Sorry to cut you off. I got a text message from someone unnamed that said, Penny better get it fixed. This team's in trouble. We lost one game.
Yeah, you lose one game and everybody freaks out. It just happens that way in Memphis, you know. It's the same thing with football.
Michael Jordan's
I'm not going to
watching.
say there's too much talent on this team. I don't agree with that. Now, Michael Jordan being the GOAT that you are, maybe I need to listen to you, but I don't think it's that there's too much talent.
No.
Calipari had all the talent in the world, but he got those guys to run a dribble drive and they scored.
Yep.
And
they got to go to Camp Cal. They got to go to Camp Cal.
Yeah, I wouldn't send anybody to Camp Cal.
I'm just,
I'd send them
quote
to
unquote Camp Cal.
I'd send them to Camp Brown.
Yeah, exactly. That would be fantastic.
And this is weird. Is it just me, or does it seem like Penny just kind of hadn't listened to his assistants up to this point of the year? I look at his body language in the games, and he seems like he's listening to Larry, and we don't know what happens in practice. We never will. But it just seems like Penny kind of is like, okay, these are my guys. These are the ones I'm going to stick with. After listening to that press conference today and listening to a frustrated Lester Quinones, Michael Jordan has 7 championships. No, he has 6. But no, sorry, Michael Jordan's talking to us, and I'm just kind of I'm kind of in awe right now.
Yeah, I am too.
But no, I think that this team is going to figure it out. I think tomorrow we're going to see them figure it out. I think they're going to get. I think Georgia's going to get absolutely drummed tomorrow.
Yeah, I do too.
You pissed off the sleeping giant.
Yep.
You pissed off Penny Hardaway. You pissed off Larry Brown, the greatest basketball mind of all of college basketball right now. Besides maybe Coach K, but I'd still argue that Larry Brown's the greatest basketball coach of all time. And you pissed off some really, really good basketball players, not to mention you just pissed off an entire fan base that is hungry.
Yeah.
And we pissed ourselves off. Let's be real about this. We're beating ourselves out there. These turnovers, they have to stop. Lester Quinones said it in his press conference. He said that these turnovers have one, it's frustrating, and it makes no sense for these turnovers to be happening. The amount of them is, we average the most turnovers in all of college basketball.
It's an astronomical amount. I mean, it's just crazy.
We're ranked 18th in the country, and we average more turnovers than any team in the country.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now with that pace of offense that we play, where it's just run and gun, you get up the floor and you shoot, that's going to happen. But going back to where Penny implemented things last year, we were averaging a ton of turnovers last year. I think it was the 3rd most in the country. You cut them in half when you plug this offense in to 10 or 12 a game, and they won 17 out of 19, as I've said twice already.
Yeah.
I'm glad Penny caught this early. I'm glad we got this loss early. I absolutely think it was a fluke loss. It's just frustrating to think that Penny thought he could go out there and just roll these guys out there with the youth that we have on this team and the immaturity of, I hate to say it, some of our upperclassmen.
Yeah.
But growth is going to happen over this year. You're not going to win every single game. Nobody's ever won every single game. I don't believe. Please tell me if I'm wrong. But
no, you're not.
Memphis came damn close in 2008. But you're not going to win every single game that you play, and you're going to limit your turnovers. You're going to implement some of these half court sets. You're still going to run and gun and outlet passes. So, and one thing that this, sorry, I keep harping on it, but one thing that this transition is going to do is it's going to free up your shooters to get actual shots off. They did it last year with Boogie. And speaking of Boogie Ellis, he's been balling out at USC. Good for him.
Yeah, he has.
And it's going to free up Lester, Landers, Amani. It's going to free up those guys to get open shots. Not only that, it's going to free up Jaylen Duren, who can get down low and play his game. And I'm very encouraged with the things that Penny said today. I'm very encouraged to go watch, or not go, but to watch this game tomorrow. And I'm very encouraged that I'm going to go down to Oxford, Mississippi on Saturday and watch an absolute ass whooping that the Tigers are going to hand to them Rebels.
I agree, man. This I think tomorrow night's going to be a bloodbath, and I think Saturday is going to be a bloodbath. On both ends.
You got an extra ticket there, Bone?
Down in Oxford?
Yeah, man.
I wish I did, man.
Damn.
Guys, the Lady Tigers are sitting at 6-1 currently.
Oof.
About to be 6-2.
They're getting ready to be 6-2. They're down 59-34 right now to Alabama, who's 5-2, with 9:23 to go in the fourth quarter. But when you look at the Lady Tigers, guys, this has been an impressive little run that this team's gone on. I mean, they went on the road and lost to Little Rock, turned around and beat Southern Illinois. Then turned around and beat Florida A&M, beat Liberty on the road, and then beat LMU on the road in their Thanksgiving Classic, and also beat Penn in overtime. We talk about it every week. We make sure we cover the Lady Tigers as well. Katrina Merriweather is just doing an incredible job, guys. I mean, we ain't got to spend a lot of time on it, but we'll talk a little bit about this team.
Sorry, Will.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I mean, I've really hang on. Let Bum talk for a second. My children are losing their minds.
Children, man, am I right? No, I'm just kidding.
Go ahead, Bum.
No, Katrina Merriweather's made pretty good adjustments this second half. Alabama's just shooting the ball lights out. One thing I didn't know about Alabama's head coach is Katrina Merriweather played for her.
Really?
They showed it. They showed a little preview of it. This women's team is young. They have depth, and Coach Merriweather is a winner. Let's get this straight. Melissa McFerrin was not a winner. Coach Merriweather knows how to win games here at the University of Memphis, and she's going to win a lot of them. And that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I want to see out of our women's basketball program is I want to see them compete, and I want to see them make tournaments and win conference championships. And I think Coach Merriweather is going to do exactly that here at the University of Memphis. Yes, they're down to Alabama right now, 59-35, fourth quarter, as you said. But I really think that they're going to get this thing going. You got I think Alabama has like 5 Power 5 transfers on their team. And then this women's team for Memphis is still competing hard. Going to an SEC school in the, 7th game of the year, 8th game of the year is kind of hard to go win at, especially at an Alabama with that much talent.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to give all the credit in the world to Katrina Merriweather. They're going to figure this thing out. They're going to get these girls right, and they're going to play some good basketball come conference time. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think they're going to be really good come down the stretch, especially once they get into conference play. You know, they had a little speed bump there in Little Rock, which, you know, I don't think they were probably expecting that. But at the same time, you know, I mean, that's one of those things that kind of just wakes you up early in the season. And I do think Coach Merriweather is doing a great job. I really like her a lot. So I'm excited to see what she does the rest of the season. They've got a pretty good schedule up ahead of them. You know, they play some pretty decent teams. They got South Florida on January 2nd. They're ranked 13th right now. We'll see what they're ranked by then. But yeah, they've been a lot of fun to watch. I'd like to try to make it down and watch a game live and in person. I want to take my girls down at some point. So
yeah, I encourage anybody to go to the new El Marone Fieldhouse. It's nice. They sell alcohol. So if anybody would like to go, give me a ring. I'll definitely go with you as long as the men's team isn't playing at home that night or on the road. But regardless, I sat. Well, I believe we were playing St. Louis. I was sitting there watching the women's team play on my phone. So that's how much Katrina Merriweather's got me bought in. She's got me following this team, and
Yeah.
I never thought I'd follow Memphis women's basketball under Coach McFerrin because she just didn't care. But this coach cares, and you saw it in her press conference. You see it, and you saw it at Memphis Madness. You see it in everything that she does with this program. And her staff is one of the best staffs in the country. Abby Jump, who's one of her assistant coaches and her recruiting coordinator, is doing one hell of a job recruiting girls all across the country. I think I saw last week like a top 10 women's player in the country had Memphis in her top 5 or top 10, which is just absurd. You didn't see that. I don't think you've ever seen that at Memphis. And also a little bit.
No, I don't think you have.
Some of that has to do with the Penny effect. Penny has an effect on a lot of sports that people don't realize. And people are going to call me stupid for saying that.
No.
Kids are going to look at Penny Hardaway being at Memphis. And the older people won't agree with me, but the people my age and y'all probably will. Kids get gear and stuff like that. And if it's got that 1 cent logo on it, it means something to them.
Dude, Penny was the reason I had an Orlando Magic starter jacket in fourth grade.
And see that's the effect that Penny has.
And jersey, white with the pinstripe, black with the pinstripe, and blue with the pinstripe.
I still have my black with the pinstripe, and Emma, when they have wear a jersey to school day, she wears that one every once in a while. It's still
nice.
It's still in decent shape. Yeah, man.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. Like Penny just had that effect, that effect on different people. And when people say, well, maybe he's not the right guy, he's absolutely the right guy. And he's going to figure it out. Coach Merriweather is going to do a great job with this women's team. As I said, they're young. It's their first. I mean, it's not really a hostile environment. There's not a lot of people at the game right now, but Alabama's sitting at 5-2. Their 2 losses I believe are to ranked teams. They're going to get this thing going, guys. And honestly, do not be surprised if this Memphis women's team finds themselves in the NCAA tournament conversation this year.
I completely agree with that.
I can see that for sure. I mean, they've done all right this second, that's third and fourth quarter. I mean, they hung even with Alabama in the third. They just kind of got in a hole, in the first and second.
Yeah. And that happens. But I tell you what, I really believe she's going to get it going and get it figured out. Speaking of a team that needs to get it figured out, fellas, Will, you're wearing the hat right now. The Memphis Grizzlies. Now, currently, they're up 40-27 on the Toronto Raptors on the road.
Got it on the TV with the Memphis women's game. So, watching both.
Guys, just briefly here, what do they got to do to get this thing fixed? Will, I'll start with you.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't. Y'all keep asking me these tough questions. I'm not prepared. No, I'm just kidding. The only thing I can really say that I've seen that's really it's disappointing, but at the same time, it's kind of, I don't know, it's dumbfounding. Like you really can't put your finger on it. We win. We play to our competition to an extent, but at the same time, we definitely lose games that we shouldn't lose. And then not only do we lose those games, we lose them by like a drastic margin. We get blown out, So that's the thing that concerns me. It's not a matter of losing or winning or whatever. It's a matter of you may win some decent games here and there, and that may be what keeps you in the conversation, especially having, you got a superstar on your team like John Morant. It's not going to matter forever when you're getting blown out by the Timberwolves or whoever else. I don't know. They definitely got to figure something out. Get something figured out balance wise. I know having Dylan out hadn't helped, but maybe getting everybody back in business, they'll get things rolling. But they got to do something.
Bum, what about you?
Well, Honestly, I was more concerned about John Morant's well-being on Friday than I was the Memphis game. I thought he had tore his ACL, and I thought he was going to be out for the season, and it scared the hell out of me because, one, the NBA is just now starting to market the young man.
Yeah.
The Nike commercial they released is
awesome.
It's not only just awesome, it is a wonderful representation of this city and what we stand by. We say it's Memphis versus everybody. It truly is. And that says who's saying is like people are saying like one of the sayings in it is who said or you can't put a small town team on the map. And the little kid leans over and says who?
Says who? They're awesome.
The Grizzlies mean a lot to this city, a lot more to this city now, I think, than they ever did. Don't get me wrong; those grit and grind years of the core four, those were magical. They meant so much, but this team has a future right now, and a damn good one at that. With a kid, and thank God John Morant is okay. It's only an MCL sprain. He's only going to be out for I think they said 2 to 4 weeks. You have a perennial MVP candidate on your team in him every single year. He loves this city. You can tell it. These guys that are on this team love this city, and right now they're playing a damn good game in Toronto right now against the Raptors. Dylan Brooks played a big factor in us kind of struggling. We're sitting at 10-10. We're up 45-33 right now. And you can go up to 11-10 this year. And your schedule favors you for the next couple of games, except I believe you got Denver coming in town here shortly. And you might have the Lakers next week. The LeBron-less Lakers at that, by the way. No, it's just fun to watch this team right now, man. They're kind of, as I said, they've been struggling, but I think they're starting to figure it out. I think they're starting to gel. They added a couple new pieces this year, and Steven Adams, and you got some rookies out there, and but Dylan Brooks was out for the first few weeks of the season, and now he's getting back in his rhythm. I mean, since Dylan's been back, this team's been pretty decent. They compete in most games.
Oh yeah.
I'm very excited to see where this team lands at the end of the season. I think they can be very dangerous. I think if they make the playoffs, whoever they play in the first round is going to be pissed off that they have to play the Memphis Grizzlies. The pace of play is awesome. Jaren is starting to figure it out. We're hitting threes. It's really nice. Speaking of Jaren, he just hit a three in the corner. No, it's exciting to see. They're now up 48-35. They're going on a little bit of a run now. So, get Ja back, get him healthy, make sure he's okay. Give him his little all-star push because he absolutely deserves it. No matter how many games he misses, he's shown it at the beginning of this year. And my only problem with this team is Taylor Jenkins and his coaching ability. I don't know if he can coach. And I hate to say that because he seemed very promising at one time, but he makes some of the stupidest in-game adjustments I've ever seen in my life. He doesn't challenge calls like he needs to challenge. He draws up decent sets, but some things don't get executed on sets. Other things happen where you get a screen and they call a foul on you or something like that. But one person who has impressed me more than anybody else on this team this year, and I'll stop after this, Desmond Bane. That kid was the steal of the draft last season. He is playing his balls off, and I'm very excited to see where he goes as far as this team. And this team's only going to go as far as Ja and Jaren take them. And it's very – I'm grateful to see not only Memphis men's basketball, Memphis women's basketball, but also the Grizzlies all show up at the same time and have common success. And some are going to be more than others, as we said. and I can't leave Tiger football out. It's just a good time to be a Memphis fan, guys. It's a good time to be a Memphis fan.
It is. It is a really good time, and I apologize if there's a leaf blower in the background. My neighbor decided he wanted to start blowing leaves at 7:30 tonight, evidently. Anyway, yeah. When you look at this, just the city of Memphis, we've said it for the last couple of weeks. It's an exciting time to be a Memphis fan. You got Memphis sports coming up. You got the Tigers playing tomorrow night. 4-Star Sports Media will be back with you Thursday night for a special edition of Championship Saturday college football pick'em. Also, Thursday morning, 9 a.m., jump over on sidelines.live. Rob Brown and that company over there doing an incredible job covering college football. Big Bad Bumgarner will be on there Thursday morning, 9 a.m., talking Tiger football and the bowl game. But, guys, once again, thank you to everybody watching on 4-Star Sports Media, Facebook, YouTube, also on the website, 4star.live. You have been inside the Germantown Village Wine and Liquor Studio tonight. Will Bass, Brandon Bumgarner. I am Wes Pruitt. We are The Point, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers, go Grizzlies.